The God-Mind Connection by Gene K. Foster. Chapter 1. Receiving Counsel from the Brotherhood of God. Spirit counselors who call themselves the Brotherhood open up the lines of communication with the writer. If people will turn their attention to us, give us their open minds, their open hearts, then we will fill them with wisdom and with the gifts of Spirit that will bring them into oneness with God. This is our task here, to take the God message to you on your plane that you will not waste your life there. Thus began one of the many morning sessions at my typewriter. The hands on the keys of my typewriter were mine, but the impetus to strike certain letters came from an unseen source. Later I was to learn that that source is a God-created group of spirit entities called the Brotherhood of God, the counselor that Jesus promised. Automatic writing, as many call it, is not automatic according to those in the Brotherhood. It comes with practice on your part and with the power of God working in us both. My experiment to contact someone in the next plane of life began with pencil and paper and a willingness to find out for myself if I could do this kind of writing. In the next chapter, I explain my step-by-step progression from swirls and figure eights to the typing I do now. In Chapter 13, a messenger from the Brotherhood explains in much detail how the system works. The message that came to me day by day, I soon learned, was not intended for me alone. This enlightenment was for everyone. You are to write a book, my communicator told me. I protested ignorance of the subject, no experience in religious books, no prestigious publishing history. But my assignment grew into reality as a wealth of information and counsel appeared on my typewritten page. One of the brothers told me, "This book is to be about growth. Growth is the goal of your life. Be open to this thought. Be open to growth. No one can just ride along in life without something happening. Either a person grows or a person goes into decline. No one stays the same. There is no use in trying to hide from this truth. When you finish with your body, you come here to this second level of life, to this plane that looks so much like the earth plane. It is here you rest and contemplate your earth life and then go on with your true life. If you decline in your earth life instead of growing, you must go through growth here on this plane. But it is much harder here because there is no hardship to go through or overcome. There is no lesson to learn through living. The Brotherhood of God is here to help, to counsel, but not to direct. We transfer spiritual gifts to you, but we do not act in your place. You must act. We must help. That is our relationship. The Bible has reference to the counsel that Jesus promised. Two of these are in the book of John, the 14th chapter. The first reference from my Revised Standard Version, the 16th verse, gives Jesus' words. "And I will pray the Father, and he will give you another counselor to be with you forever." And in the 26th verse, Jesus said, "But the counselor, the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, he will teach you all things, and bring to your remembrance all that I have said to you." My communicator then said, "By having the Brotherhood span both planes, it can work effectively with you." I asked what they meant by their plane. This plane is with yours, on the entering level of the next part of life. We are not far. This plane is so near that your breath is felt here. This plane is an image of yours, except that it is more perfect. This plane has the hopes and dreams of man expressed in many ways. The ecology is perfect. Those advanced spirits insisted that we are to call upon their help in all things affecting our growth. They define growth as that which gives us the power to be one with God. The message continued. The energy of the God of the universe is open to people on both planes. It comes through the Brotherhood of God to help you become the person you want to be. Two questions came to mind. First, what is meant by the energy of the God of the universe? And second, is the person we want to be the same as being one with God? Energy is the power of God on the move throughout the universe. This energy gives you the power to turn thoughts into things. This energy, remember, is of God, not the Brotherhood. We only open your mind to its presence here. We give you the open channel, the means to open your mind to receive the energy. It is a spiritual law that we want to become one with God. This desire is written into our eternal plan. This is the plan of the Spirit since before the earth began. Now back to that part about energy, or the power of God on the move. What did my communicator mean by energy that turns thought into things? Energy will be your price of things. Like money is the price of things on your plane, energy is the price of things here. But not only here, on your plane too. Could these brothers be talking literally here? Can we turn thoughts into things by use of this special energy? You become the proper channel on the use of this power, and you manifest what you desire. Well, surely there must be a misunderstanding. Things are material. Surely this message means that we manifest qualities like goodness or peacefulness. Like any good and patient teacher, the messenger from the Brotherhood continued. You can manifest qualities, of course, but you can also manifest things. Again, I protested, shaking my head in contradiction, but this brother persisted. You can manifest what you desire by using this power or energy that is available to you now. Be open and be ready. Astonished by the idea of demonstrating this power in a material way, I asked how I might receive this energy. Thereupon I received a spiritual blueprint that anyone can use to manifest the good in life. This is the method. Be open to us here. Keep your mind turned toward your good, your spiritual good. Then if your desire is in line with that spiritual good, it will manifest. And who decides about our spiritual good? Spiritual good to one is not spiritual good to another. Turn your thoughts to us here to have this matter enlightened. Still, I resisted the idea of manifesting things. Why, I asked, do I resist this idea? Because you have been taught differently. Because you keep believing that there is a difference between spiritual life and the one in which you manifest material things. It is all the same. It is not separate. Be open. Say goodbye to your negative thoughts. This is not the time for weakness. It is a time for strength. You have a goal in mind, don't you? Then manifest success by the use of the energy that is here for you, this power. Today is the day. Be open in this matter. You seek success. You want to demonstrate the success in money. You want satisfaction. You want confidence in yourself. You desire these last two above all material things. Then put this on the map of your imagination. See it happening. Be open to success. Plan your use for success. Be on this matter in prayer. Imprint it on your inner eye. The power comes into you to make it manifest. We in the Brotherhood are open toward this accomplishment. It is certainly in line with your spiritual good. It is a right desire. It is God at work within you to help you carry out your plan of becoming the person you want to be. At this point, I took one of my favorite articles from my rejected manuscripts, worked it over again, sent it out. It seemed a time for action, for a step of faith in Brotherhood words. How can we know, I asked, what our spiritual good is? The Brotherhood is always here on this plane, open to your plane. Your thought sent to us will bring you the help you seek. Prayer is to God, that which gives you the oneness with Him. But when you think that you want us in your life helping, counseling, giving good gifts, we will turn ourselves toward you in the open channel to contact your mind. Be open. Go to the God you already know, and think of the help you need. I ask for enlightenment on the kind of help we might ask for. The Brotherhood will help people think more clearly about what life is for, what purpose each one has. We care that you become the best that you can be. People can overcome depression and loneliness because they know there are friends here as well as there, and no person goes his way alone. God is the reality one hoped for when you turn to the Brotherhood for help. But help is perhaps not the word we need here. Help concentrates us on need, and many people would rather do things on their own. A better word might be growth, for most want to be spirits that grow, right? It is a more positive picture. This group of advanced spirits exists that growth may progress on the earth plane in great strides. The work we do is to point the way to God life in each person. God is the God of us all. I interrupted. And you always come when thought is turned toward you? The Brotherhood is open on this side all the time. We want to help. We want to bring you the gifts of spirit that God has in your name. Each person has the gifts here, and we help to transfer these to the willing, open individual. Can everyone make contact with you, I asked. I tell you the truth, that everyone who wishes to be open to the Brotherhood of God can be so. This is not difficult to do. It is only a matter of will and of desire on the part of anyone. You only think it's difficult because it isn't common yet. But communication is the part that is best between you and us. We can become helpful to you in your growth there because we can unite with you. Think on this matter carefully. People may be one with the Brotherhood of God by opening their minds to the open channel that brings communication between us. Be of good cheer on this. It was hard for me to conceive of such a selfless group of spirits as this Brotherhood. Mentally, I endowed them with my characteristics: impatience, weariness over repetition, despair, disappointment over other people's actions. Yes, a stubborn doubt persevered about their willingness to do what they claimed, helped me fulfill my God potential. These thoughts of mine, for I never uttered them aloud or typed them on paper, brought a vigorous response from these advanced spirits. The Brotherhood of God always has the person's best interest in mind. There is no puny motive on our part to get something for ourselves. There is no grumbling when we are asked to help. No one says, "Well, there you go again, asking for help." When you ask, we come. This is our joy, our great wonderful pleasure. No time of day or night matters to us here, for we do not observe time as you observe it. We have no greater motive than to be one with God. We give you this prayer of growth. May God give you his great gifts with our help. The Brotherhood is real. We have lived on the earth plane many times. The spiritual laws say that we can on this plane must live again and again in order to understand the lessons life has to teach us. In one lifetime, this is not possible. There will be more on God's plan, reincarnation throughout this book, and the message continued. I know that people have need of us. I hear their cries on this plane. The Brotherhood takes each cry into the mind of the universal God. The cry may be to no purpose, but it is a cry. We go to that person to try to help, but no help is possible until the person requests our help. The reason for our inability to help some people is that we all have free will. That way, when we choose the godly way, our perfection is true, not a facade. I asked the messenger from the Brotherhood what sort of things people want help with, and the reply came immediately. Why, they want help to grow into the wonderful people they know they should be. Not should in an outer way, but should in an inner way. The should means that we grow to the extent of our concepts. If we receive of ourselves as wonderful human beings, then we become wonderful human beings. But if we give ourselves the picture of the poor little creature, the one who is undeserving, the one who is helpless about life, then we become that person. We want to become the person we should be, the one we conceive of. Can you help me develop a better picture of myself? Yes, we build into your mind impressions of your best qualities. We build the concept into a beautiful creature so that you can indeed become that which you visualize. The mind is the key. The mind is the truth of our beings. The mind gives us entry to the soul. Again I interrupted, but what about brain-damaged people? You can't reach them, I suppose. I received an illuminatory reply to this question. The truth here is that all these people will develop within, for they have no truth of their own disability to impede them. We connect easily with those who open their minds, no matter the condition of the brain. The mind is not the brain. The mind is that which gives you the truth of your being, that which is the eternal part of you, the real. The mind gives you the spark of life, the God spark, that which we call the soul. Stirred by his reply, I asked, then parents who have brain-damaged children should understand that growth of the spirit will continue. These children who come into the world with brains that do not serve them may grow even more than those who have a great intellect. The brain is the bodily function, but mind is the spirit function. The spirit is eternal, the body is temporary, and that is the truth. The Brotherhood reaches out to all. Those who wait until their deathbeds may open their minds to us to help them, and we do. No brother says to a person, "You have waited too long, old man. You're out of luck." The person is always helped. We do not see with the eyes of judgment, but with the eyes of the good that we might do to help you connect with God of your being. There is no circumstance that thought of our help cannot put right. We on this plane, the Brotherhood, team up with you to give the good news to you. Tell your readers that no belief or disbelief hampers our work. One can be without faith in any of the truth he has heard to date, But when he turns to us, we will help him find his own truth. The only truth to trust is that which grows inside you anyway. To reject other truth is merely the expression of your inner being to find your own truth. The growth of the Spirit is the main idea. Keep this in mind. I queried about help from these advanced spirits in the matter of personal safety. Here's the reply. Help may be possible if the person believes in that help instantaneously. The protection may happen, but not always, because people panic when the crisis comes and turn their minds to the overwhelming tragedy. Then I asked if the Brotherhood will come when we ask for healing for someone else. The one asked for is open to us, of course, but your pleading has nothing to do with it. God's help is for all, no matter the circumstance. The truth is that God is the God of the universe, all-powerful, all-knowing. He opens us to all the good gifts if we open our minds to these gifts. Properly used, the energy of the universe can heal, can help the ill person. The growing person can help too. Healing is another subject, and it would take a long time to explain the working of it. What an intriguing answer. One I want to follow up on someday soon. Those advanced souls, the Brotherhood, stand at the ready to teach us and help us grow. Whether we accept any religious theology or not, all of us can relate to the concept of help from those who understand what life is all about. Some thought stimulators. 1. Growth is our goal in this life. The Brotherhood is here to assist us with this growth. What is your understanding of growth, and how can you make practical use of this understanding? 2. Energy. Which is the power of God, turns thoughts into things, and how can we access this energy? Inner work. Talk with the Brotherhood. Open your mind to success. What picture of yourself do you want the Brotherhood to help you develop? Chapter 2. Forming a partnership. We can form a partnership with the Brotherhood of God and receive the help they have for each of us. The Brotherhood gives only good gifts to those who team up with them. Forming a partnership with the Counselor Brotherhood of God is not a complicated business. There is no mysterious or occult session needed. The prerequisite, as I understand it, is to make a request. In this way, we give permission to those advanced spirits to enter our minds and give us their counsel. Many need to have partners, the more tangible proof of God, said my communicator. And to me in particular, this tangible proof is in our written communication, of course, and again to us all. The proof is also in the open channel between us and the person who invites our help. We will manifest in one way or another if a person's mind is turned toward us in the promise that we make. This is the truth. You may wonder, as I did, why this group of soul wants to do this obviously difficult work of communicating with us and helping us through our problems and onward to our spiritual growth. Who are they? They told me that they came into being in the beginning of God's establishment of the earth. However, they do not think the truth of how they came into being is important at this point. We enter to help. This is our entire thought. Why concern yourself with who we are on the earth plane? The point is who we are now. That is what matters. We entered life even as you entered life, but our reality is now and not the past. However, they did give some insight into the past as we on earth figure time. The Brotherhood began on earth, and it continued on this plane to help others still on the earth plane. But it was hard to get in touch and to maintain contact. Therefore, Jesus went back to earth to be the God Self who entered into flesh and made contact with these helpers. He gave a pattern of prayer, of healing, and of direction. He gave fully of himself there, but he made use of the advanced spirits here. He grew in that lifetime into his full potential because he used help from this plane, not because he was perfect to begin with, not because he was God to start with. Now he wants to open this channel wider than ever. He encourages others to use this channel to enrich their life to the perfection which is easily within their grasp if they use the help that we can give. I come from a traditional Protestant Christian background, and these words seem sacrilegious. My thoughts were enough to trigger this answer. There is no sacrilege when we know God is the source of all energy that is given. God is the source of this wonderful open channel that can tenderly take this concept to your consciousness. People so often feel lonely that there is no friend, no one to care. But in the Brotherhood there is caring. Entities will come to fill you if you seek to be filled. Later the message added to this concept of who and what the Brotherhood is and why it exists. If you want to help others, if you want to be God's emissary, then this is the work that you may want to do here on this plane when you come. Remember, we do not enter the earth plane to become one with you. The truth is that we enter to help you unite with God-mind even as Jesus did. These counselors insist that each of us must set our own goals in life. Then they will help us to go to God-mind to reach these goals. If a partnership is to be formed between you and the Brotherhood of God, there must be a communication. Here we come to the heart of the matter of making the partnership to a working, practical one. Half the partnership is ethereal and half is earthly. Apparently, those in their next plane can hear us easily enough, but how do we hear them? Let's consider the process of automatic writing, which is what I attempted to use. A well-known writer of psychic books wrote that anyone can do automatic writing. Not being particularly psychic myself, certainly no more so than the average person, I knew I did not possess any special powers. I simply sat down at a table with several sheets of 8 by 11 paper and some well-sharpened pencils. I had nothing in particular in mind, certainly not the Brotherhood of God. Had I sought a teacher or counselor immediately, I could have progressed much faster. The thing was, I didn't know exactly what I wanted. I sat for 10 or 15 minutes with very little happening. My pencils seemed pushed now and then to make sweeps across the page, and that's all. Disappointed, nevertheless determined to try it for several days at the same hour for 15 to 20 minutes. By the third or fourth day, my pencil was practicing large zeros, large I's, and some figure eights across the page. The eights were sideways, as if to indicate infinity. Yes, it grew boring, and yes, I wanted to give up because it seemed so silly. Then I began to get messages, many of them frantic. One that persisted over a period of several days was, "Mother is alive. Mother is alive." My pencil pushed heavily and quickly across the page. "Mother frees you from her promise. She must be on her way now to the promised land." This message never got delivered, for I have no idea who Mother is or whom she wants to free. But there was no doubt in my mind that some soul needed to impart these words to someone still on the earth plane. 2 letters, written together like initials, began to appear each day. Finally, the writer revealed himself as a person I had known well when he lived on this earth. He had problems because he was very attached to someone still on the earth, a someone he wanted to make changes that affected his growth. I wasn't sure at this point that I wanted to get this kind of message. I had stepped into someone else's personal life, and it felt uncomfortable. My early experience in automatic writing brought me in contact with many spirit entities, including my father. One day my father took my pencil and told me what he is doing with his life now. His greatest concern is for my brother and his family, even as it was while he lived on earth. He had hated me, he said, during the last few years of his life because he was in a nursing home, and he named the home. I asked him how he felt toward me now. He said he no longer hates me because he isn't in the nursing home now. Love, he said, is the most important thing to me now. It was not until I asked specifically for a teacher, someone who could help me with my life, someone who could filter out the many frantic messages that I could do nothing about, did I meet the Brotherhood of God. An entity called Love signed in on each day. Our communication was poor due to my inadequate reception. Love would begin some fascinating statement, and I could not get the ending. Crucial words were not expressed, and there was much frustration on my part. But having gone this far, I stayed with it, however grimly. I dated each day's writing, and as Love helped me along, I began to type each day's written word, no matter how full of omissions. Day by day, I could see more and more complete statements, and I grew encouraged. And the writing was not without humor. I like to read mystery stories, and one day in the midst of trying to get the words down on paper came the statement, "I think the mystery stories you read cloud your mind." One day I received instructions to go to my typewriter and place my fingers on the keys. Typing made communication much easier. Always, before I wrote or typed the communications, I tried to still my mind, empty it of thought, and then I prayed for protection and guidance. Love no longer signed in. Someone else from the Brotherhood took over. This entity taught me how to concentrate in a way that would enable the messenger and me to be on the same wavelength. I received directions to hold a picture in my mind, a picture of the soft earth, which is my mind, and a plow, which is the Brotherhood. The plow turned the soft and willing earth, and as it did so, I finally began to type with some speed as my fingers reached for the keys. I am not sure even now just how this works. I seem to have impressions of the words just before I type them, but there are some times when I go very slowly, awaiting the impulse that moves my fingers. According to my communicator, not everyone is given the same picture to use in making contact. The picture suits me and reaches my particular understanding. I have never read in any other psychic literature of this method of contact. Many churches, ministers, and religious people warn against doing automatic writing, as if it in itself is evil. I made this statement to these brothers who dismissed the idea of evil with tongue-in-cheek comments. On the earth plane, there is much fear. I was told that the immediate need here is to be assured that God is real, and that the earth life is our temporary home. You on earth do not live there permanently. You bring your soul there for growth, not permanent habitation. I asked if someone might give suggestion on automatic writing as a means of contacting them. The Brotherhood will receive any person who wishes to make an open contact with us. If the person wants to be in communication by investing time on your plane, then writing may be the best means of communication. But they do not rule out other means of contact. If you open your mind and open your heart too, then we come to you to help. But if you want an open channel, you must give time on your plane to get this. It is the payment, so to speak, but the time needed not be overly long. It can be only a short, concentrated time, a time of going to God the Father in prayer and a time of important growing. Important growing refers to a person's attention to the open channel that makes communication possible. I asked how a person can open his mind and heart. If a person wants to contact the Brotherhood, the sincere desire is enough to make this contact. But there is no proof of this contact, I protested, and the Brotherhood again replied. This kind of contact is not visible to you. You must make the point that you cannot see us, but nevertheless the communication is there. You feel the keys of your typewriter depressed beneath your fingers, but others use a pencil and let their hand become the hand of the Brotherhood. Others may be good listeners, better than you are, and they may hear our voice. There is one other way, too. By taking your inner growth tone, the wavelength of the energy that courses through you, you may get on this wavelength where you may be in the growth pattern that we are. Both the wavelength must be synchronized with one another, but only those who understand physics may understand this. These helpers go into the world to be there on your plane, but so many do not take heed. There the Brotherhood goes, going to your support and aid. But so few heed them. People do things the hard way alone. Another day my communicator had this to say about how people can make use of the open channel. This is the way. To you who would use the typewriter, this is the good way. To others who do not type or who won't consider this method, there is another way. Our plane and your plane coming together is to be understood. A person may listen to his inner voice. This is fine. It is good, but obviously not many know how to listen to the inner voice. The thrust of this message is that there is a way for all, and it can be as certain as writing letters. We write letters, don't we? We expect answers, right? Then this way is most sure. The inner voice may be mystical to many, you see, and it is a subject to the subconscious, but so is the writing. This is the way to communicate, to meditate, to listen, to write us and let us answer through your fingers. The Brotherhood does not care which method. Use whatever you will, but open your mind to this open channel that you may not waste your earth life. Be assured that this earth life is a temporary life and your next life is the real one. On the next plane, the identity that is permanent. In earth life, you have an impermanent identity. Jesus came here to show people how to take their growth seriously and live according to God's best plan for uniting the two planes. The Brotherhood became the counselor that Jesus promised. Use it. This group of advanced spirit is not mystical, nor is it open to evil. It is incorruptible. Thought stimulators. 1. Forming a partnership with the Brotherhood of God is not complicated. Making a request opens a way. This request is necessary each time. Why? 2. Why does the Brotherhood want to communicate with us, and how can this benefit our life? 3. The Brotherhood says that there is more than one way to work with us. Direct communication, mind-to-mind, expressed as writing, is only one way. Some other ways are hearing, imaging, sensing, and creating. These may be expressed as writing, speaking, inspiration, the arts, healing, building, composing, or designing. In which ways do you communicate best? Some inner work. Request the Brotherhood of God to help you open your channel of communication with them. Practice daily to establish a clear channel by setting goals, talking with your spirit helpers, and by acknowledging the God of the universe as your partner.